So, in keeping with my current trend of being like Santa and/or your father and only coming once a year, I bring myself out of the shadows I reside in to yet again pointlessly complain about none other than your favourite, my favourite. YouTube is a platform that has mastered the art of towing the line when it comes to testing the patience of their user base. With each year they become more monopolistic, we as users become less and less free to do what we want or express ourselves in a way we want. It truly seems like no matter how loud we scream, YouTube as an entity is like some sort of sick predator that just gets harder and harder with each bit of resistance we give. They get off on it to the point where it seems like trying to advocate for any sort of change is a futile effort from the get-go. And you know they've won when even joking about it has become difficult with how absolutely demoralising it is to even just talk about them and their soulless corporate decision making. I've scrapped numerous a video script in the past couple years about YouTube, as far back as 2018 with how redundant it felt to complain about them back then. All the videos removed, channels banned, terms of service changes, silent enforcement of non-existent rules, amending and broadening the definitions of existent rules already in place. I could go on, and I really don't mean that as a figure of speech. The clear sense of being totally out of touch from what people enjoy displayed by their annual YouTube rewinds where they increasingly featured celebrities and YouTubers that were only appealing to the lowest common denominator of viewer. Then, just as everybody was starting to make a tradition out of ragging on YouTube Rewind, the 1 year where we all could have done with something to laugh at, they fucking cancelled it! Because we were laughing at them too much. I guess we hurt their feelings. Who knew they had any? It's such an embarrassment of a platform, and I hate to talk about it because it feels like everything there is to say has already been said to death and back. But, in the wise words of Chester Stone 745, I mean this when I say it. YouTube have yet again reached an astronomical new low. No big surprise. Starting from today, YouTube will be phasing out dislikes from all videos to stop what they refer to as quote-unquote targeted harassment on certain creators. They say while simultaneously having the most disliked video on the entire platform. I'm struggling to find words, man, honestly. I could say what's already been said to death before a billion times about how YouTube has turned soulless and no longer cares about the individual creator, the backbone of this entire platform. But we already know this. And if you really want to dive deep into it, I can't recommend enough Emperor Lemon's video, Why You Should Like Dislikes, from a couple of years back. After you finish this one, of course. No, a change that I would like to highlight improving just how little YouTube care about the user experience anymore, one that bothers me a lot more than the removal of visible public dislikes, and is absolutely bull-fucking-shittingly unnecessary. Well, I like listening to music. As a matter of fact, sometimes I listen to a bit of niche music, a bit of alternative music. Yeah, I know, I'm not like other girls. And one of my favourite things to do when I'm listening to my favourite music on YouTube is to find the topic videos of my favourite songs, with the topic videos tending to be the highest quality versions of those songs available, if not the only versions. Usually from old CDs or niche little bands that don't get an awful lot of views. And on these videos, I absolutely loved reading the comments from fellow cultured gentlemen who share the same good taste as me. You'd find people talking about how they love X musician almost as much as I do, where they were introduced to such music, how they emotionally resonated with the music, and overall, just a load of great discussions about some great memories and great musicians. And then, one day, out of nowhere, because YouTube's gonna YouTube, all comments are now disabled on topic videos for songs because... fuck you? Honestly, what a fucking pointless change, yet a change that just perfectly displays what sort of soulless corporate cunts are in charge of this platform and the direction they want to take it in. Less interactivity on the platform that was once all about interactivity, that thrived off it. The removal of dislikes on top of this is just the icing on the shitcake that is this platform, if you ask me. They're changing more and more to become like the old media they once opposed, and they are slowly but surely killing themselves in the process. What's it that one racist, misogynistic, xenophobic, transphobic Nazi once said? We're evolving! Just backwards. PewDiePie. Seriously, we are. It'll never fail to baffle me why YouTube just want to become more and more like television, the platform that is dying, quite rightfully so, I must add. Why does YouTube want to be more like a cable service when the people, the core audience for YouTube, the heart of the platform that it would not exist without, don't go to YouTube to see what they could already bore themselves to death with from the comfort of their living rooms? My only honest to God estimate, and it's probably a lot more boring than you think, is a mixture of YouTube becoming more and more sanitized over time, changing to appeal to modern politically correct customs. That, alongside old lamestream media big heads, probably, if not certainly, offering payouts to YouTube for changing their platform to become more homogenized with traditional media. Promoting what they refer to as quote-unquote reliable sources when it comes to anything news-related, and increasingly discouraging the likes of fucking swearing and cunting edginess in creator-made content. Almost like the 9pm watershed that exists with traditional cable, where you can't say nigger faggot before the kids go to bed. Now, what's influencing the change more, I'm unsure of, but it's bullshit regardless. If YouTube had any balls, they'd be rejecting the mainstream influence and putting the independent creators first, knowing that this platform does not need million-dollar handouts from desperate media conglomerates to prosper. But instead, where they see money, they take it, oblivious to the bigger picture and this very, very special thing that they have. It's no surprise that everything has been steadily going downhill ever since Google acquired YouTube. Or not so steadily, if you remember Google+. They simply aren't willing to make decisions that aren't financially viable from their tunnel vision point of view. Unless it comes to pushing leftist politics. What? Yeah, something I really wish I didn't have to talk about, but I feel I must, is how the majority of this quote-unquote targeted harassment that YouTube says is just so important and so prominent that they have to fundamentally change the functionality of their website to oppose, tends to be directed not towards the individual creators, but rather towards the likes of media corporations and government entities. Take the Irish government, for example, the maliciously incompetent, totalitarian, power-hungry group of shifferbrains that run this country I have the misfortune of being a part of. Nearly everything they put out gets a majority dislike rate. Why does it get a majority dislike rate? Because people here don't like the Irish government and the direction they're heading in. You can take the HSE for example, who are so confident in everything they do and say that they disable the likes and the comments on their videos in the first place, so absolutely no public discourse can occur under them. Because that would only be fair. Just believe everything they have to say, because I mean they've never lied before, they've never been wrong about anything in the past. 14 days to flatten the curve. What? Even going over to the US of A, we can observe how on the White House YouTube channel, home of the most popular US president in history, Joe Brandon, the majority of videos have quite the divide between likes and dislikes, with the overwhelming majority of videos being primarily disliked. Most popular president in US history, lads. So yeah, when I see YouTube doing this shit so slyly, yet with a smug shit-eating grin on their face, I can't help but think there's some interference from both corporations and government entities. And if that makes me a conspiracy theorist, then so be it. I'd much rather think for myself than just believe everything I'm told at face value. So yeah, I think that's everything I have to say. However, I will leave you today with a statement and a song. The statement comes from a man called Karim, one of the 3 pioneering founders of YouTube, and it goes like this. Watching Matt Koval's announcement about the removal of dislikes, I thought something was off. The spoken words did not match the eyes. The video reminded me of an interview Admiral Jeremiah Denton gave in 1966. I have never seen a less enthusiastic, more reluctant announcement of something that is supposed to be great. Calling the removal of dislikes a good thing for creators cannot be done without conflict by someone holding the title of quote-unquote YouTube's creator liaison. We know this because there exists not a single YouTube creator who thinks removing dislikes is a good idea for YouTube or for creators. Why would YouTube make this universally disliked change? There is a reason, but it's not a good one, and not one that will be publicly disclosed. Instead, there will be references to various studies that apparently contradict the common sense of every other YouTuber. The ability to quickly and easily identify bad content is an essential feature of a user-generated content platform. Why? Because not all user-generated content is good. It can't be. In fact, most of it is not good. And that's okay. The idea was never that all content is good. The idea was, however, that among the flood of content, there are great creations waiting to be exposed. And for that to happen, the stuff that's not great has to fall by the side quickly as possible. This process works, and there's a name for it: the wisdom of the crowds. The process breaks down when the platform interferes with it, and then the platform invariably declines. Does YouTube want to become a place where everything is mediocre because nothing can be great if nothing is bad? In business, there's only one thing more important than make it better, and that's don't fuck it up. So yeah, at least we have someone on our side. Shame he doesn't work there anymore. And to end this video, I just want to leave a short song, a full song, from 2013, 8 years ago. I remember when this came out. God help me, life is short.
Woke up this morning and checked my Twitter, went on to Facebook and moaned about the weather, and then I checked my friends' updates on Google+. Wait, no I didn't, cause it sucks. So how did they make their investment back? They took YouTube and fucked it in the ass. Leave us alone, we just wanna make videos. We just want our website back. Why is it so hard to understand? Fuck you, Google+. We don't want your fucking fuss. You've ruined their site and called it integration. I'm writing this song just to vent my frustration. Fuck you, Google+. Your website can get fucked. If it was gonna work, it would have happened by now. Maybe ask Yahoo to fix it somehow. See, Google, we're just bad at web design. Well, I suggest trying to Google it sometime. And then there's a suggestion they don't want to hear. Can you please fix the sub box you fucked up last year? Fuck you, Google+. We don't want your fucking fuss. They ruined our site and called it integration. I'm writing this song just to vent our frustration. Fuck you, Google+. Your website can't get fucked. If it was gonna work, it would have happened by now. Maybe Vimeo could fix it somehow. If you like this video, then please subscribe. Don't forget to give +1 if you enjoyed. We just want to work your website back. Why is that so hard to understand? Fuck you, Google+. We don't want your fucking fuss. You ruined this site and called it
funny how this girl was absolutely on the ball about everything YouTube is doing wrong today 8 years ago. 8 years before we thought any of this shit was going to go down. Yeah. Like the video, share the video, please, and subscribe to me, please. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
I'd love to see him succeed in today's climate.